Hi there. I'm just going to give you a bit of information. My name is Ben Key, by the way. I'm just going to give you a bit of information about a new economy. That this side of lockdown, people are going to start to have to face up to the fact that it is in existence and already in place, insofar as well before the lockdown started, and anything to do with COVID-19 hit the press or the newspapers, or there was any information forthcoming about what was about to happen. Because for a long time, there has been a new economy, a stealth economy, if you like, building up underneath all the assets that this planet proposes to have put in place as their original prospects for the furtherance of humanity and our movement towards the next process in taking on the future through a method that is only I can only perceive as being, since the millennium, since the Tony Blair government, as being a charlatan impression of what was to come, but they would never allow to come. So this stealth economy, since Blair got elected, since the government waged war in Iraq, since they started to become this power that dictated to the rest of the world how things were going to be done in this sort of charlatan way of describing events that were meant to happen, but they were never going to let happen. Even under the Conservative government, when they got elected, they were always going to stand in opposition, blocking the way forward to progress, to move to the next event, so that by the time the Conservatives were phased out, they would get back in power and restart this whole charlatan way of apportioning the wrong benefits, the wrong accreditation to the wrong people. So they would take these ideas that were meant to happen for certain people, who are all founder members of the stealth economy, and who are all related to each other in this indistinct, indescriptive way that explains exactly how we're coming together as we break through lockdown. All as one, all one class, and all dealing at the same issues that were meant to be dealt with in the first place, to be foremost in the public's mind, with the people putting them in place who put them in place to start off with. So this is what I'm talking about, the stealth economy. Be aware of it, folks, because it's going to hit the markets and it's going to take the world by storm. Because the rightful of this world, for a while, for 20 years or so, have been sidelined in the media, in the modern world, in terms of who gets the jobs, in terms of who gets the clout of this charlatan reality that's been put in place. And we've been almost told that we have to continue under the Conservative government. No one wants to in the Conservative government. They want the reality to come through. They want it to go back to the original people who were going to make it happen in the first place. But we had to take backstage for one reason or another in the first place. And that's fine. We did that and we accepted that. It was just the way that many of us, including myself, were treated as that fake government, as that fake reality started to be put in place. It started to become the reason why. It started to become the raison d'etre, in terms of what was done in society and how the modern world was going to be shaped and created for the 21st century. And it was totally in opposition to everything we had believed in, we had dreamt of, and we had put in place, to have our ideas just taken off us and given to someone else who had nothing to do with this reality. So as we emerge, these people are starting to come back into the reality of the stealth economy. They're starting to put things in place on platforms that have been put in place by me and other people to enable this to happen. The stealth economy is starting to take shape, and the reality of who owes the living reality of what is to come in the future, the thing that has been hidden from your eyes and is there in plain sight, so that many people will be able to see this when it comes. Do not be any in doubt as to who this belongs to, as to who has created this, and as to who has enabled this to become a reality. Because this charlatan government that has put themselves in front, put themselves first, right to the front, so they can dictate exactly how we behave, exactly what they want us to do, exactly who we agree with in the world orders and the powers of be in the politics of the world and everything else. They've got it set up very nicely for themselves up to this point. But things are about to change, and there's going to be a shift that means, as we move out of lockdown all over the planet, this stealth economy shall come to the front, and the reality of what we have been putting in place shall become a physicality. If you want any clues, in inverted commas, as to what this stealth reality might take form as, I can give you, certainly push you the way of what I've been setting up and creating and developing in this whole process. Firstly, umosras.uk. If you look at that website, umosras.uk, if you look at that website, that might give you a clue as to what I've been doing in my local area in this community in Gloucestershire. Secondly, the communications technology, which I'm fronting also in another business which is related to Mosras called Safcoms Limited. There is a website that explains the full detail of what to expect and how the reality of that shall come in place on spacetm.uk. And finally, the whole education program. You know that under this charlatan government, we have been taught utter lies. The media, everything else, has been scripted to tell us things that aren't true and that we just don't believe. These people who are in the know, like me, who are really in the stealth economy, who understand exactly the reality of what is going to come through and how it's going to take shape. So we have created an education program as well called Saera.uk, Saera.uk, which is take it as a virtual academy site that will become physical manifest with a principal building in the whole Umosras ethos. But at first, a virtual academy mind training site that many people have been through the process. It's not just the people initially who were jaded with society and who had taken a back step to let things roll out as they were unintended to roll out, and see how the whole world has, gone demonic in our place and put our ideas in place for the wrong people. This whole Saera.uk reality will explain that it's not just us who have gone through this. There are many, 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 many other people during the process of being disillusioned with society who have taken a back step and said, okay, if they're so adamant that it's them, let them be in charge for a while, let them see how they mess this planet up, how people like Tony Blair wage war in the Middle East and do all the things that he did with George Bush. Those things have gone noted and they will be held accountable. You know, it is in our interests to re-enable a legal system to hold these people to account who have started this whole process of destroying parts of the world that are sacred to this planet, that are sacred to the history of mankind. And we're going to look at reopening the Chilcot with our legal arm. We're going to look at reopening the Chilcot, but not only in a country-wide court that deals with it. We're going to look at it in an international court dealing with all comers from all countries who are affected by or who stood by as onlookers in disbelief of what this charlatan was doing. We are going to take this right to the cleaners, and there's no joke. You know, once the stealth economy starts emerging, heads are going to roll, metaphorically. People are going to go to jail who deserve to go to jail, and we're going to make that happen. That's our legal side of it, which is explained a little bit in the Crime and Accident Premonition and Prevention System on SpaceTM. But in Saera.uk, you will see that they were doing it all with education under this charlatan government, this government before the stealth economy emerged, this Blairite government. And the education program was absolutely teaching everyone untruths. It was teaching everyone things, giving them no hope of a future heliospheric reality on this planet, and everything that we have in conjunction with the universal realities and everything that the stealth economy will be putting in place now before your eyes as you see it unfold. Okay, so we are changing the way education is done. We are changing the way people train their minds and learn about themselves in a Gnostic way, not in a way that is a do as I say culture, that I'm telling you you need to do something and you do it now. You know, this do as I say culture that everyone lives by in this country, especially since Tony Blair. You know, we're going to do away with that. We're going to move towards the reality where people understand within themselves and know, ultimately, they know enough, or absolutely almost enough, to enable themselves to have a fair crack at their own reality in a surrounding that is comfortable and equipped for the society that is now unfolding before our very eyes as lockdown comes through, and they will start to be able to equip other people with what they're offering to reintegrate new jobs, a new system, a whole stealth economy that is there for their disposal, that has nothing to do with the ass of a law that has been put in place after during the last 20 years. And in New Mosras, people will be able to interface with us and come and join us in the society that is a reality of how things are going to happen for the future. And it's going to happen all over the world, folks. It's not just in the UK. It's not just the UK segmenting and becoming universal realities. This is a universal order that is multipolar. It's going to go all over the world and reach as many people from as far-reaching parts of this world as possible. Okay, it's going to make this planet thrive, and we're going to have an economy that will become something that is worth something. It's not just usury based on debt trade and do as I say, people telling us how to behave, and a Federal Reserve that thinks it owns all the money because it's got us all in debt when all its money is based on debt anyway. That's going to be exposed. That's going to be destroyed. All of that, the New World Order, the Illuminati, everything they put in our way to say, you do as I say because otherwise I'll have you in debt. Don't fear these people, okay? There's no need to, because this stealth economy is going to rise up and change the whole planet, okay? And the order of things, the hierarchies, everyone, the people with jobs, the people who are in power, the people who have control over us, okay, that won't exist anymore. They will not be there, okay? So, take it as you will, say it's a load of rubbish, move on to the next thing and go back to doing the usury you've been doing before, or understand the truth, look at those websites, look at it in detail, and understand how it's going to affect you and the society that you live in.